that they can see the pores in it and notify the printer the pores of the skin looks like this, or like this, or like this. And how many per millimicron. This mechanism right here, vitamin C and bioflavonoids, plays a very important role. They start to open their mouth and eating the germs. The germs are strong. During that time, the germs secrete a poison. The poison will circulate in your body and you start having aches in the joints and the muscles for a couple hours later. Everybody been through that or not? You have flu and you feel aching in your joints. Now, some of these viruses are so strong, they multiply and they go inside the white blood cell itself. Some of them go inside the white blood cell itself and they hide with the DNA. They hide inside the DNA. So the cell itself cannot see anything outside, cannot identify what it has inside, and that is the AIDS virus. Other viruses cannot do that. They are less sophisticated. They cannot enter the genetic code. So they stay outside. But the cells cannot kill them. And they eat protein, they eat the food, and they circulate it and multiply. When these viruses pass through and get to the gland right here in the neck, the gland in the neck immediately, this is the gland in the neck right here we just talked about, has prepared something called immune globulin protein called IgA, IgG, IgD, IgM, and IgE. These proteins, what they do when they see the virus coming in, and the piece of virus is like this, and the virus has holes in its body like that, they will stick nails in it to fit the hole. If the hole is a triangle, they make a triangle nail. If the hole is a square, they make a square nail. If it's circle, they make it. And this is called a complement. And they keep so many holes full until the virus blow up and explode. And that's how the immune system defends against virus. If the virus succeeds of going through because there is a problem in IgA, or IgG, or IgD, or IgM, or IgE, then the virus will go through Epstein-Barr virus and end up by going to the tissues of the body. It selects what tissue. First tissue it goes to is the brain. Second tissue it goes to is the heart. Third tissue it goes to is the liver. Fourth is the kidney. Why do the virus's infection go to the brain, heart, and liver, and kidney, and joints? Why is that? Why do viruses go to these organs? Anybody have any idea? Because the organs of the body, that called the vital organs, such as the heart, the brain, the kidney, liver, and joints, they cannot fight that. They cannot fight infection. The brain cannot fight infection. When you take a spinal fluid out, what does it look like? Crystal clear. There's no red blood cells, there's no white blood cells. The heart, even if it has blood, it cannot fight that. Why? Because the heart's job is not to fight. The kidney job is not to fight. The liver job is not to fight. The brain job is not to fight, and the joints is the same thing. They have another function. The germs know that. They go to the joints. And the joints start swelling, and we call that endocarditis, and so and so and so, and then and fatigue. The doctor, when he does analyze the blood, he does check you. Can he see anything? No. Then you tell him the symptoms. I'm tired, I'm fatigued, I'm this. Then he checks blood chemistry. What does blood chemistry tell you? Not much. 99% of the people, 1 minute before they die, their blood chemistry are normal. Your cholesterol is normal, your triglyceride is normal, your fat is normal, your sugar is normal, everything normal 1 minute before you die, 99% of the people. So that gives you an idea that blood tests, routine blood tests, are very inaccurate. When you say, I'm healthy, I just had a blood test. But just convincing you that you're okay. It doesn't really. Just like when you have a chest pain. You go to the doctor and the doctor says, I want a physical, and he does an EKG. You know what the EKG is, right? What does EKG tell you or tell the doctor? What does it tell? Just give me one answer. Blood is going, it doesn't tell you blood. It tells you only you're still alive. Because the EKG is supposed to tell the doctor if you're going to have a heart attack. Only the stress test will tell you if you're going to have a heart attack, not the EKG. So, but some people might say, hear that, doctor, how am I doing? You're doing great. You're going to live, and I assure you, you're going to live well. Then you go and you drop dead. Doctor, what's wrong? Well, he can hear you anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay. So, these infections, when they go through the body, right here, we call them, they're called chronic fatigue syndrome. Chronic fatigue syndrome, then, we call it a syndrome. What's the definition of a syndrome? Syndrome is a combination of what? You said it and you finished it. No, okay. Combination of symptoms that people share. That's a syndrome. It's not a disease. Like heart attack is a disease. Hardening of the artery is a disease, right? Diabetes is a disease. But diabetes is not a syndrome. What's a syndrome? Several symptoms that you have and I have, and the doctor doesn't know. He said, well, you guys have a combination of symptoms. We're going to call it fatigue. That is the diagnosis, chronic fatigue syndrome. Chronic fatigue syndrome is not a diagnosis. It's a symptom. It's a multiple group of symptoms. Can be caused by Epstein-Barr virus, cytokine, any virus who lives in the body. Can be caused by allergy, because if there are chemicals right here you're inhaling. Can be caused by poison. Can be caused by infections, by chemicals, by stress, by problem inside the cell itself, by problem deficiency of vitamins D and E, or by too much fat, lack of hormones, lack of circulation, and problem in the digestive system, and problem in the diet itself. So when we deal with somebody who has a chronic fatigue, the answer is never going to be simple. When you have a chronic fatigue and you come to me, and I do Epstein-Barr virus, for example. Everybody knows Epstein-Barr virus. And Epstein-Barr virus causes fatigue. And it is positive. We say, okay, that Epstein-Barr virus causes your fatigue. When I check the people, I find out not only they have Epstein-Barr virus, they have 3 other kinds of viruses. They have herpes virus, they have toxoplasmosis, they have all kinds of other infections, because naturally when your immune system has failed to protect you against single virus, it's not going to protect you against most of other viruses. So you don't have one, you have both. Number 2, most of the time, because the immune system fails to protect against virus, that immune system will not protect you against other diseases. We find out something called autoimmune disease in people with chronic fatigue syndrome. What is autoimmune disease? We find out that the immune system you have, it is so weak, it is so lazy, and the genetic code of the DNA, it has been altered by the virus, that the DNA itself is sending the wrong message outside. It's telling the RNA attack the heart, attack the blood vessels, attack the brain, attack the joints, attack your own cells. We call that autoimmune disease, such as rheumatoid arthritis, rheumatic fever, lupus, scleroderma, Alzheimer's disease, and cancer, and many other of these diseases. So when you have a symptom like chronic fatigue syndrome, one has to worry not only about the virus, you worry about the other things. And most of the people who have chronic fatigue syndrome, they read books. There's so many books read. They're all wrong. They're all wrong because each book has the answer in it. And the answer is never going to be in one single book. And you read books on chronic fatigue. One book says, okay, I got the answer. It's the Epstein-Barr virus and eat garlic. The other says, no, it's Epstein-Barr virus, take vitamin D. The third says, no, it's Epstein-Barr virus and take a herb. And, these are ignorant people writing about subjects they don't know anything about. Knowledge does not come from Prevention Magazine and National Enquirer. Knowledge comes from going to school many years and learning, and that's how we acquire knowledge. And inexperience. And this information you read in the prevention, 90% of it is wrong. The one you read in the newspaper, 90% are wrong because it depends who writes the article. If you have an article written by a guy who has a PhD in biochemistry, most likely he is correct. Because he's a scientist, he's not going to say stupid things. But I have seen, indeed, scientists writing stupid things. And why they do that, I have no idea. I've seen a medical doctor back in the company who puts hydrogen peroxide drinks for people to drink. Have you heard of that? There's a new company putting hydrogen peroxide in drinks so you can drink it under the counter. These companies, the FDA knows nothing about it. But they're selling 100,000 bottles of hydrogen peroxide to people to drink and children in the United States right now. And the FDA doesn't have enough personnel to fight it back. Who's going to fight it back? The public, the people. They have to tell each other this is poison. And they have names of NDs underneath. Well, maybe the NDs never existed. But just like about a year ago or 2 years ago, we got this in the news as a doctor. New miracle vitamins. When I get information like that, and I know everything about vitamins, I know something is wrong in the head. When you write miracle, when you write this stuff, I know right away the person who wrote it is a crook. Because miracles have the body is so complicated that even me with all my degrees, I'm still lost when I try to check the body. And here you come in to tell me that you got the answer to cancer, you got the answer to headache, you got the answer to everything. Like the people said, lose weight you eat everything you want and still lose weight. Come on, dreaming is something, and reality is something else. That's right. Look at like this and imagine yourself thin. You lost weight. But it doesn't work that way. When you deal with chronic fatigue as a symptom, you have to go back and study your lifestyle. Like I said before, you have to check the things. You have to check the external things in your life. see my diet causing my fatigue. If you're concerned about it, if the fatigue is more than a month old, yes, you better check. Because if it is a hormonal, get it corrected. If it's a virus, we should improve the immune system with gamma globulin injection, or if it's a chemical, you should have some kind of detoxification program intravenously using chelation therapy, or using mega vitamin doses, or using oral vitamins, whatever we can find, and avoiding the stuff. But you have to look at your own diet first and your own life before you seek medical attention. Because you save yourself lots of money that way. You have to ask yourself, am I eating the right diet? The right protein. What's the right protein? There is the vegetable protein and the animal protein. Which one will be better? Then, eat more vegetable protein. Less animal protein. And if you like animals, then eat chicken and fish more than beef and see what happens. Change. How long it takes to see results when you change your diet? It takes 6 months to 8 months or a year. What happens to the people who say, I'm going to give you this formula of any product, and you are tired, and you took it, and next day you feel great? That's a psychosomatic. You think you feel great, but you're not. So you have to start with basics. With the protein you eat is correct. The carbohydrates. There are two kinds of carbohydrates. The complex and the simple. Which one is better? The complex carbohydrate is better. Like starches, a piece of bread, some rice, some macaroni, some spaghetti, some bread, rather than fruits and sweets all the time, every time you get hungry. Of course, when you eat sweet fruits all the time, you're going to feel good, but you're going to have hypoglycemia, and you're going to feel rotten later on. So, don't buy the cheap energy. Get to the true energy and get after it. Fat. There are two kinds. The vegetable fat, animal fat. Which one is better? Vegetable fat. And vegetable fat, there is two kinds. There is the oil and there is the margarine. Which one is better? The oil. Which one is better? The animal fat or margarine? The animal fat, you're right. The animal fat better than margarine. You've been in the lecture before, I can see that. The animal fat that it causes hardening of the arteries is still better than margarine. Why is that? Because margarine is a natural oil that's being altered by hydrogen that is toxic to the human body. Where fat, which is bad for us, is going to come in and bring more LDL, and that's all. The others are going to bring more disaster than that. So it is better, actually, to have butter than margarine. But if you can use oil rather than butter, that will be better. But how often people are going to use oil in place of butter? People want something simple, and if you have a big family, lots of children, actually you can put the oil in the freezer, any kind of oil. Peanut oil tastes good. Some oils taste like butter. One of them is peanut oil. And then you put it in the freezer. Is it semi-solid? And put it in the toast, some brush it in the toast, and the kids weren't able to tell the difference. They eat the same one. But it's better for them. If you're going to fry food, you fry it in oil. You don't fry it in lard. The second one after that, vitamin. When you're studying fatigue and chronic fatigue and infections and all of that, which vitamins are the most important vitamins you should consume? Vitamin B, and vitamin E, and vitamin C. And most recently, we have found out that beta-carotene which is vitamin A, and vitamin K and vitamin D plays an important role also against chronic fatigue syndrome. So all vitamins are important. But the question, do we take extra for supplements or the diet has enough? And then I think you have to answer that question yourself, because we know that the diet does not give us enough supplements and minerals. You have to look at the minerals you eat. Look at the salt, sodium. Surprisingly, in my practice as a preventive medicine doctor, I have found lots of people with salt deficiency. Salt is not bad for the human body if it is taken in small quantities. Little salt and the food that will make it taste better is better than having food without salt at all. Because you sweat salt, your bowel movements have salt, your arteries have salt, you lose salt all the time, and then you need some degree of salt. We know the bad thing about salt and high blood pressure. Of course, if you have a high blood pressure, watch the salt. But in the meantime, if you don't have a high blood pressure and you feel tired, maybe your diet needs a little bit extra salt. Potassium, very important. Lots of people I have found with deficiency of potassium. Banana, orange juice, stuff like that have potassium in it. Lots of kids, you see hyperactivity in children, and they lack of potassium. Cramps in the legs, lack of potassium and calcium. Calcium should be added to the diet. Then another thing should add to the diet are the trace minerals. And the best thing Shaklee Company did was the Formula 1, which has the trace minerals you should need to help against chronic fatigue syndrome, which you have the zinc and the magnesium and all of that, but you need a small quantity, not huge. People have tendency, if one helps, then 10 will be better. It doesn't work that way. In minerals, you be careful. Trace minerals can be poison to the body if you take too much. 4 is enough. 1 is too little. So somewhere between 1 tablet to 4 a day, that's what you should take. Water. Important water, right? Look at the water you drink also. Number 1, are you drinking enough water? Are you? Maybe not. Have you ever been tired and fatigued when you're thirsty and dehydrated? Most of the patients I see dehydrated. They need more fluid in their body. When you have more water, then you have better circulation. Water should not be the water like Coca-Cola or beer. Should be the kind of water it doesn't have chemicals. And one of the best things, as I said again, Shaklee made was this water purifier, because I'm impressed with the water results that filter produces, which I'm glad they did that. They should have done it 20 years ago. Oxygen. Look at your lifestyle about oxygen. Are you really have enough oxygen in your body or not? How do you know you have enough oxygen or not? The degree of exercise. You need to exercise 1 hour a day to get good oxygenation in your system. 1 hour is not walking around the house. 1 hour that you're actually tired and huffing or puffing a little bit exhausted. When you take a look at all of this, you correct it. Then look at the lifestyle you have if you have chronic fatigue. You have stress. Try to correct it. How would we correct it? External stress. One way to correct the external stress is having good supplementation. Another way to correct it, enough sleep. Some of you have fatigue because you don't get good night of sleep. If you don't have a good night of sleep, one night, and next night, do you think you're going to be tired in the 7th night or not? You're going to be tired. So you have to, before you run to the doctor, see if you are sleeping enough. Maybe your sleep is not good sleep. Maybe you sleep the wrong way, the wrong bed. Maybe your circulation is not good. Maybe the air in the house when you sleep is so chemically polluted with formaldehyde and fumes and all the gases you have in the insulation. Maybe the sleep itself is noisy. You have a light here, and you have a noise here, you have music here, you have all of this, and that's not sleep. Sleep should be deep sleep, at least 6 hours, preferably 8 hours sleep, and it should be sleep that it has dreams in it. Sleep without dreams is useless sleep. Because, well, I'm not talking about nightmares. If you have nightmares and wake up and sweating and all of that, there's something is wrong. Meditation is good to get rid of stress. Personally, I think meditation is very important to be done on a daily basis. The Orient people in Japan, they meditate in the morning, they meditate at noon, they meditate at night. I'm from the Middle East. We are Muslims. We pray in the morning, we pray in the noon, midday, and after sunset, and before going to bed. And many people, many cultures pray different ways. These prayers, intention is get you in peace with yourself so you can release some of the stress to somebody. You release it to God, somebody release it to Buddha, somebody release it to anything, but get some meditation so at least you get some of the tension out of the system. Exercise, get rid of stress. You cannot be under emotional stress during exercise. You know that. If you have tremendous depression, get on a stationary bike, go for 1 hour, 30 miles an hour, with a high tension, and develop leg cramps and sweating, and tell me if you're still depressed. I gotta be depressed. I'm fine. Depression would sound better than exercise like that. So get on that also. Because stress causes depression, and depression causes fatigue also. Vacation can get rid of stress. But it depends on where you go. Okay. What is the definition of a vacation? A vacation is a time you spend far away from stress. That is a vacation, isn't it? Okay. But if you are home, or with your job, working a job with all these people, and you have stress in the job instead of going on vacation, or the same people giving you stress on the job, why do you want them? And then at home, let's go a whole family for a vacation. That's the last thing you want to do. Because you're going to argue all the way, you're going to discuss all the problems. Go away by yourself or with somebody else, get you away from that person. How often? Should be every day. But not once a year, maybe once a week, maybe every couple. Some people do it. Certain time of the day, they go take a walk by themselves. Some people play some kind of a sport. Some people artists, they draw. Some writers, they write. Do something besides your main job. Something different that gets rid of that stress. But that's the vacation. You know, I did something about vacation. I never get excited by trips. I get free trips all the time to go vacation. To Spain, to Switzerland, to England, from drug companies. As a doctor, I get free tickets all the time. Conventions. I never got to stay in one yet. Because it's more stress for me to go there. Where am I going to go? The doctor? No, I don't want to do that. Going to a hotel that everything is noisy, everybody's drunk, it's music and all of that. So anyway, I took myself one time, so they have this Hawaiian vacation all the time, United Airlines, all this. I went to O'Hare Airport, and I sat down for a whole day to study the psychology of people going to vacation and coming back. And when they go, everybody's so happy coming back, they go like this with flowers. Okay, so that's about vacation. And then toxicity or got to look at your life. Are you smoking? Are you drinking? Are you taking drugs? Are you inhaling wrong fumes in the house? Maybe there is something chemical entering your system somehow. Because when you look at the human cell right here, when the human cell produces energy, it also produces what? Toxins and waste. And the waste can kill the cell. The waste has to come out of the cell by 3 vitamins. Vitamin what? C and C and E. We call them the antioxidant vitamins. That's bad enough right there, happening every day. All of this. Now if you have oxidants from outside, like carbon monoxide from cigarettes, alcohol, formaldehyde, and all kinds of alcohol coming in, gases from closed-off syndrome, like you work in a big office building, I call it the graveyard. You know, the people work in the big offices, I call it like a graveyard. Because here you have so many people working a closed space, the air condition takes everybody's germs, circulates to everybody, and the germ grows in the filter, like the days of Legionnaire disease, if you heard of it, you know, remember that. Not only that, the same chemicals going around and around. Just as bad as in a plane when they tell you no smoking section, smoking section. What's the difference? You have the same purpose of bringing the stuff, you know, from one place to another place. So actually, I find it to be very disturbing that we have these chemicals in our air already, and we have to take extra vitamin B and C and E and cut down on those chemicals that we are consuming every day. Now, we go back to that. So, the causes of fatigue can be this, or that, or this. And one of the most disturbing things you have to be concerned with about fatigue are the dangerous ones. When you have tiredness and fatigue, don't worry about the simple things like virus infection or hypoglycemia. When you have fatigue, worry about the serious diseases first, such as brain disorder. Something in the brain is not right causing fatigue. Heart problems, circulation problem causing the fatigue. Liver disease causing the fatigue. You remember mononucleosis, the first thing it does, fatigue, tiredness, right? So when you have fatigue, worry about the vital organs in the body, especially cancer. Right now, there are many methods we have developed. In preventive medicine, we can diagnose the brain disorders, heart disorders, liver function, and cancer probably months to 2 years before you have fatigue even. And these diagnostic methods are available in our center, available in other places too, but before we go through that, you have to try all the other methods first. That's it for the lecture tonight, and thank you very much. I'm going to take some questions, start from people on this side, and we'll go on to this side for about the next 20 minutes. Yes.
You said that estrogen can be produced from the adrenal gland?
Yes. Estrogen, some of it in estradiol, can be produced in the cortex of the adrenal gland. Most of the estrogen is produced in the ovary. However, some of the precursors of estrogen, they can mimic the function of estrogen exactly in the body. We call that the estrone compound, which one of them similar to estrogen.
Okay, so the adrenal gland can take replacement of the ovaries at this
I don't think they can. I don't think they can, but they can help. They can help. One of the things I want to do in the lecture next time, hopefully we do it about the skin and aging of women. The whole thing will be about skin and aging of women in the next lecture. This is about 20 years I've been working with that subject, hormones and aging. And the results I'm going to probably discuss at that time. How can we, if we correct the hormones and know the lack of it in one organ, the excess in another organ, can this improve the health tremendously of one of the individuals? The good thing about what we have, I'm fortunate that everything I talk about, I treat it, or I did. You know, so there's clinical experience all the time, the failure and successful. So we have seen people without ovaries with some estrogen. The ovaries are removed, they still have some estrogen there. We have seen some women without ovaries with some progesterone. So there's got to be some other organ help, but not enough. I think the adrenal gland, it does help the body to starve, but the local gland has to take over the function. Yes.
If someone has had mononucleosis, can they easily then get that virus, the Epstein-Barr? And how dangerous can the Epstein-Barr be?
The question, if somebody has mononucleosis, can they get Epstein-Barr? Number one, mononucleosis is syndrome. Mononucleosis is not a diagnosis anymore. Mononucleosis used to be a diagnosis. Now mononucleosis is when you have lots of mono cells in your body, you have mononucleosis. Mono cells is a kind of white blood cell. We call the disease mononucleosis. We found that the reason you have too many mono cells is because the virus is Epstein-Barr virus. That was the theory until a few years ago. Now we have identified that other viruses such as herpes virus of the mouth and cytomegalovirus can cause mononucleosis.
What's the difference between Epstein-Barr and AIDS?
What's the difference between Epstein-Barr and AIDS?
Yes.
They're both the same virus. One virus, AIDS virus, is more sophisticated virus. You're going to have to answer some of that question yourself. Why viruses are changing in our environment to become better and stronger and more dangerous? Whenever the environment is more polluted and more radiated and more dangerous, viruses, they change to become more resistant to the stuff and they become stronger.
Degeneration diseases?
No. I said AIDS virus is more powerful virus than Epstein-Barr virus.
Oh, okay.
And the reason viruses are getting worse is because viruses 20 years ago, immune system had an easy time to kill them. Nowadays, the viruses living in the environment with us, and to multiply and keep their own identity, they have to fight radiation, cosmic rays, air pollution, so they become more sophisticated also. One of them, the HIV virus, and that HIV virus, the AIDS virus, succeeded of getting inside our genetic code. You can get it from mosquitoes, you can get it from flies, you can get it from kissing, you can get it from homosexuality, you can get it from blood transfusion, not necessarily just homosexual habits. You know, I wonder sometimes that, you know, if in the mosquito season when I look at my hand and all these mosquitoes have blood in it, I ask which one of you has AIDS in it. And I wonder if you're going to, and the doctor says, the CDL, Center for Disease Control, about 2 years ago, they said, absolutely not. Viruses, saliva, all of that cannot transmit it. I hate when they say absolutely not. I know they're wrong right away. Because it just makes you comfortable without worrying. And I think I'd rather worry about this thing and take precaution than take a chance. Yes?
Because positive to Epstein-Barr, yet you've had all different kinds of stress tests and every other blood test possible. And is there any hope that you do change your diet and do everything you said, you can return to a full day rather than just half?
The question is, if you have Epstein-Barr virus and you did everything, can you become normal, you have a normal life? The answer is yes. I will say 99% of my patients with Epstein-Barr virus, they've been in normal life for a long time. And it takes time. Some of them it takes 6 months to get rid of it. Some it takes 4 months, and you never get rid of a virus. Virus, it doesn't die. Just virus, you develop antibody to it. And whenever it gets activated, your body fights back in more intelligent way than before. Yes, the possibility is there. Anybody in the back right here? Okay. In this section. Yes, ma'am. I can hear you. The tape, they've been produced by them. I have nothing to do with it. You can get them in the end of the lecture right here. The tape is basically done to help the expense for these people to put the lecture through. And I don't get any money from it or anything, so you have to talk to them about it. These tapes right here, they have, I believe, they have those tapes available. I believe so. And you can get them. But these tapes right here, heart disease, autoimmune arthritis, alcoholism, they all have about a specific subject. And if you come to a lecture, for example, about the heart, again, it will probably be different from that one. If you come to a lecture about autoimmune disease, it will be different from that one. Because knowledge changes every month, and new things will always adding in. That was your question? How much I really know about what?
Lyme.
How much I really know about Lyme disease. Okay. First of all, listen. I'm a physician in the Illinois-Wisconsin border. Lyme disease in Wisconsin. My name was in the newspaper as the first one discovered in our county, Lake County. So I know about it. I'm a biochemist. I'm a bacteriologist. So I know about Borrelia. So that's how much I know. Just a minute, let me finish the question. About Lyme disease. It's a germ. It goes in the body through an infection from a tick inside your body. No different from another germ like a strep or any other germ. However, germs are different, have different structures. Some germs look like this. Other germs look like this. Other germs look like this. And others look like this. Another germ looks like this in a chain. And other germs look like this, like a thread. Other germs look like a disc and start to go like this. And other germs look like this with eyes and mustaches, like the other. So different germs have different behavior. You could have 100 people get infected with the germ that causes Lyme. And 20 of them will have symptoms of arthritis and the brain problem, the mental problem, and 70 or 80 probably fought it without any problem. This kind of a germ is nothing new. But when you have so much concentration of one single germ in one single city, that becomes dangerous. And you follow me now. For example, this is the germ very similar to syphilis. This is Lyme disease right here. It's similar to syphilis. Syphilis is a germ. However, if you get syphilis and your immune system is good, the chances that you're going to have problem with it is 90%, even with a good immune system. Similar to TB, tuberculosis. If you sit down with a TB patient, inhaling all this mycobacterium tuberculosis, you're going to get tuberculosis from it. The amount of germ entering in a unit of time, besides the type of germ determines the infection and depends on the immune system of that individual. So Lyme disease happens to be something happens that these ticks, these animals carry lots of them. So it's becoming epidemic. Should we worry about it? Yes. We have patients that their titers was normal, 128, and they have symptoms to suggest Lyme disease. Even the titer was normal. When we gave them antibiotic IV, they responded. We have patients with a titer 2,400, and when we give antibiotics, they responded. And we have patients with a titer of 1,200, and we give antibiotics, they didn't respond. So, if the germ is going to seek places that it has more immune system, such as joints, heart, brain, kidney, stuff like all other germs. Do you have other questions? Do you have comments on that? What can what? What can you do about it? Well, if I live in an area, like if I live in San Francisco, I'm going to have myself a check for AIDS, even I'm not a homosexual. Because I don't know if this mosquitoes I'm flying, biting everybody, going to give it to me or not. If I live in Wisconsin, with the health department telling me that every deer got Lyme disease in it, I'm going to check every patient. So I have a blood test, and then if you read about it, and you still have the joint aches and the fatigue, for heaven's sake, take a course of antibiotics and see how it responds. About what? Nutrition, it helps up to a certain limit. But immune system does not respond to nutrition right away. If the immune system is weak, it takes months to years to build it back. And another thing, it doesn't matter how strong your immune system is, there are germs more powerful than your immune system. You follow me? There are germs. You go to India in the season of cholera, it doesn't matter how much immune system you have, you're going to have diarrhea when you have cholera. You go to Mexico, and then they have salmonella, and then it doesn't matter how good your immune system, you're still going to have them on the range and vomit and diarrhea. Because germs are sneaky and they have ways of surviving. We have to be sneaker than them as physicians. What we do for them, we improve the immune system when we have somebody with Lyme. Nutrition, give them good nutrition. It will help, right? It's not going to hurt, it's going to help. They have stress, we try to improve it. Because under stress, your interferon level goes down. You know what's the interferon? Interferon is a substance that indicates that your immune system is working. When I see somebody who is depressed, under stress, negative, and analyze their blood, they have very low interferon and antibodies. When the same person becomes happy and more cheerful and more positive, their interferon goes up. This is from stress. So we change everything in this person's life to try to get rid of their stress, cut down the chemicals, give them antibiotics intravenously for a long period of time, and see what results we're going to get. And that's the best way to treat Lyme disease. Yes, sir.
Giardia. If a person has Giardia, would they, if they took Formula 1, would it help it?
Giardia?
Yes.
No. No, Giardia Formula 1 will not help you with that. Because Giardia is a germ that, right here, 3 eyes, 2 eyes right here, and a mouth and a mustache, this is Giardia, and also has 2 tails so it can swim. Giardia comes from dairy water, willed water, and it causes gastroenteritis like salmonella or edema. It doesn't penetrate the bloodstream, so Formula 1 cannot work against this, and the only thing work against this is medication to kill it. And there are special antibiotics to kill special germs. Yes.
Will you please address the issue of drinking softened water?
soften water. Okay. First of all, water itself, to work inside the cell, it has to have the H2O with the water, which is the water, and minerals together. When you remove minerals from the water through distillation, it becomes bad water. If you add more salt to it, or add more minerals to it, then you should also, it becomes bad water. I think the best water is the water you get from the well, from the tap, and filter it, or regular bottled drinking water. But soft water is not one of them.
But why do they go through a lot of softening? I mean, is it dangerous to drink water?
Yes, it is dangerous to drink. Because it is not osmolarity, the osmolarity of that water is not equal to the body osmolarity. It is not the same. I think we talked about that before, and then basically when you have a digestive system, the intestine right here, this is the intestine right there, and the villi in the intestine right just to absorb water. When the water comes in right here to get absorbed in the bloodstream, it has to have the same concentration here, the same concentration here to travel. When the concentration of the water you drink is too high, with too much salt, you lose water in the gut and you have diarrhea and you get dehydrated and you get thirsty after a salty meal. If the water you drink is too distilled, it goes too much water in your system and you have fecal edema and swollen in your legs. So water, it has to be done in the right form. Yes, sir.
Could you comment on this ozone therapy I've been hearing about?
Oh, God. This is something, somebody else is stupid in this world doing something another stupid thing. Ozone, we know, is dangerous. Right? Isn't ozone dangerous or not?
Yeah.
How can somebody use ozone to treat somebody else? It is because we got people get the information from the National Enquirer and see ghosts and see things and come up with ideas and kill people. The idea is behind it is this. The most dangerous people you ever meet in your life are the people with half knowledge. The stupid ones are okay. The half knowledge are the dangerous ones. Because the half knowledge can be dangerous to everybody. They think they know and they don't know. The problem is, we know that aging caused by too much oxidant material. These people thought, if you give more oxygen to the body, you get healthier. That's true. You have more oxygen, that's good. So they figured, how can we deliver more oxygen to the blood without going through the lungs? Oxygen goes through the lungs. So they figured this. The product H2O2 is called a what? Hydrogen peroxide. And the product H2O is what? Is water. This one, the difference between this and this is what? This has one extra oxygen. They thought, if you drink hydrogen peroxide, you have extra oxygen, you're better than the guy next to you because you got extra oxygen. And they forgot about organic chemistry. That oxygen is a pair molecule. And the air is a pair molecule. Whenever you split it, you create a nuclear reaction. And that's how nuclear reactions produce. When we split an atom, we create a nuclear reaction. So the ozone is two pairs of oxygen, grab another one in the air, because the layer, because the atmosphere we are surrounding with, it has ozone in it to attract an extra electron, and it is unsaturated, so it gets saturated by cosmic rays. I don't know if you understand that or not. But in any way, everything God created is unsaturated. So it absorbs, attracts, and takes poison to protect people who produce ozone with 3 oxygen atoms. When it gets in the body, it splits to 2 and leaves 1 free. The 1 free becomes toxic and poison. You have to get rid of it. It destroys enzymes in the web. So ozone causes cancer. Ozone therapy causes cancer. Hydrogen peroxide can cause problems. Right or wrong? That's the proof. You want to see it? Put some germs in front of you. Put hydrogen peroxide on it and see what happens. The cells called germs. These germs right here. If you put hydrogen peroxide on them, what happens to them? Huh? They die. Why they die? Because the hydrogen peroxide, 1 oxygen, stole another oxygen from that bacteria. Once that happens, still explodes. When it steals one from them, it explodes. When it steals one from this, it explodes. When this is explodes, as a matter of fact, if you put it in your own hair, hydrogen peroxide, and it is black, it will steal oxygen from the hair and from the melanin and leave the hair white. You see? Chemistry, adding a molecule or taking a molecule is the most dangerous thing you can do in life. Most dangerous thing. In chemistry, back about 1962. 1962, I was in biochemistry laboratory, and I was asked to make a poison substance from sugar. So I took the sugar, which looked like this, and added to it a sulfur atom. All of a sudden, I produced parathione. And the little sugar, when I took it, added to germs, and then it killed every one of them. That's a parathione. You heard about parathione? Well, that's about 2 years back. Parathione. And then, when I added another atom of sulfur here, I made melathione. You heard about melathione? These are the chemicals you use to fight rats and ticks and all kinds of insects in the society. So, playing with atoms, changing them from a position to position, is the job of a chemist. And the FDA puts regulation to it. And nobody else should. These people using ozone therapy, hydrogen peroxide, are doing it under the counter. They play with atomic bombs, killing the society, and brainwashing people. How do you like if I tell you, your problem is you are aging, and I'm going to give you oxygen through ozone therapy to make you young? What are you going to do? You're going to say, okay, I trust you, go ahead. And you feel better for a few days. To make it worse, you feel better. Why, when you drink hydrogen peroxide, you feel better for a few days? Because psychosomatically, doesn't matter what you eat, if you're told you're going to feel better, you're going to feel better. If you trust the person who's given it to you. You gotta have to investigate every product you hear about. And the best source, you call the FDA office and ask them. Guys, I hear somebody selling this. What do you think? They will tell you. If they don't have it, go to the library and check. The same thing with herbs are dangerous. All these herbs you hear about are dangerous. Herbs are drugs. That you should not take them unless you have an ailment. And if you don't have an ailment and you take them, you're going to have an ailment. Coffee and tea are drugs. You can tolerate some of those. Cocaine is a drug. A little bit more strong than coffee and tea. So we have to be very careful what we got in the environment, what other people do. Yes, sir.
If you're just starting from base 1, my first time coming here, and you want to start with basic nutrition, where can you get the knowledge
if there's so much garbage out there, what's a reliable source to just start learning?
The lecture today, I think it has enough information to give you the basics, more than any book you're ever going to find in the market. But the other lectures we have, and we're going to have other lectures to educate the public, this is the best source of information. Reading Prevention Magazine is a good source of information. Even some of it is not accurate information. There is basic nutrition books you can read. The whole thing is a common sense. It's a common sense. Nutrition is biochemistry and chemistry, and physiology and all of that. And you're not going to know it overnight. You just have to take your time to learn. And that's the only thing I'm going to tell you. There is nothing comes easy. I'm learning every day. I'm studying new things every day. Just every day I have new books, new videos on my table. I'm going through them, and when I finish, I get another one. Life is learning, and nutrition for you has to be your best goal. Because two things you have to have in life to be happy. One, good health and good reputation. Good health can make money, but money doesn't make health. Thank you very much, and have a good night. Before I go, anybody have any further questions? My office number is off. It's not 312 anymore. 708-356-9009. 708-356-9009. It's about, I believe, 40 miles or something south of here. The address there is 213 South Milwaukee Avenue in Lake Villa, Illinois, 60046. If you have a question, you want to send a letter to ask a question, put your telephone number on it, because most likely I will call you back rather than write you back. If you have a question by telephone, call by phone, leave a message, and I will get back to you. Thank you very much, and again, and you have a good night.
A couple of quick announcements before everybody runs away. To answer the question, the one thing he asked about the videos or the cassette tapes, we have motorbikes up here.